We are back at Thompson's Crossing. We do have a heavy hammer, and we don't have a bedroll, which is more than enough reason for me to keep moving. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more of The Long Dark in our brand new Last Misery series. So, a few hours of time have passed in between the last episode where we left off and the beginning of this one. I did pass just a little bit of time. It's always weird opening up an episode, especially for a new series, and you're just sitting in the dark. So, aside from that, we're in the same place. Let me just make sure... Where did I leave here? Ooh, antiseptic. I'm in the habit of leaving stuff like that behind, mainly because it's so freaking heavy. But one kind of advantage that I have in this new series that I'm going to enjoy a lot is I have been playing what I've called the Season 0 runs in the Against All Odds series in The Long Dark for the past little while. And those have been... Oh, hey, I didn't check these. Pinnacle Peaches, nice. Those have been intentionally lower difficulty runs while we've explored some of the newer features in the Tales DLC that have been added to the game. And that's all well and good, but now that we're back up to a higher difficulty... By the way, as you can tell, PV is being PV, as it is wont to do. But yeah, now that we're back to playing at a higher tier... Hang on, let's check this mailbox real quick. Nope. Of course. Nice, another flare. That's even more helpful. We can definitely get around at night now, as needed. We'll just have to be very careful about when we use it. Yeah, but since we're playing at a higher tier, one very nice thing is that the loot tables will be less populated, which means I will have less to worry about. In terms of being careful with every single thing I pick up. Alright, let's poke our heads into this house real quick, because I don't remember whether I searched it. I did not. Yeah, we hadn't been in Thompson's Crossing long before we...
Can you eat trees? Because I'm gonna eat a tree.
We hadn't been in... I'm sorry, I just love that line so much. Even though it's been in the game for a while now, it's a nice re-recording of a line that was in the original early access version of the game for a long time. Yeah, we hadn't been in Thompson's Crossing long, so there are still lots of areas to search. Most importantly, I will have to search across the street. Aha, more food. Perfect. One thing I can do while the blizzard is raging outside is I can repair my clothing. I have found, I think, a couple of sewing kits, if I recall. Yeah, I've got 2. That's not bad. For a start, I would have to say Misery Mode was pretty nice to me, so I'm fully expecting it to pull the rug out at any point in the next episode or 2. But while we have something resembling stability... One second. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of repair done. Ooh, is the blizzard already going away? Blizzard might already be going away. Okay, hold on. Need to harvest some of these items. Anyway, thankfully it is warm enough in the church. Also good not to spend too much time outside in the blizzard. Okay, yeah. Calorie consumption is back up to maximum levels. I did consume, I think, 1 can of dog food in the midst of getting that rest. So we're 1 can of dog food down. I could eat another. Let's go ahead and do that. Just to shed a little bit of weight. We should have well fed before long, which will help. But again, it's just going to put us back up to the baseline for what we're accustomed to, unfortunately. So, okay, I guess I'll keep the can for now. Alright, let's keep looking at clothing for a moment longer. It does sound like the blizzard might be improving, but... yeah, we can harvest these for a bit more cloth. And of course there is a bit of cloth sitting around in the church, or at least there should be. Is there? Yes, there is. Always a nice way to pass some time. For those of you who are newer to the game, do not recommend playing on Misery difficulty jumping in for the first time. One thing that I always recommend to new players of the Long Dark, if you're just joining us for the first time, the game's been around for a long time, so it's always like a delight just to think that, you know, we still have new players coming and enjoying the game. The game does have a lot of staying power. But one piece of advice that I have, which not everyone's going to agree with, but I've always sort of advised new players to kind of go this route. Remember that Interloper and Misery, as I discussed in the last episode, especially Misery because it's brand new, that's why we're playing it, are meant for like kind of top tier players. And they're also there, that they were added after the fact. The original top difficulty level was Stalker. So, you know, if you feel like you're a pro gamer and you're ready to dive in at a higher difficulty level, I'm going to double check this house too.
Did I say I hate being cold? Because I really do.
So if you think you're a pro gamer and you want to challenge yourself, then dive in at Stalker while you're learning the game. Absolutely. It'll be challenging. It'll be fun. And then once you are bored at Stalker, then play Interloper.
My fingers feel
Notice that I paused while I was going through that door because I was like, are you going to crash again? Anyway, then play Interloper. And the advantage of that is that when you are playing Stalker and you're really getting used to the game, you're learning the maps, which map knowledge is important. When you go back and you play Interloper, it makes the game feel new again if you've already kind of mastered it at Stalker, which is a really nice feeling. And you kind of accidentally, unintentionally rob yourself of that delight if you jump straight in at Interloper. So you do you, play the game that you want to. My advice to new players would be play Stalker first, or Voyager, or Pilgrim, and if you feel like you want to do something latter. I have friends who play at pretty exclusively like Voyager and Pilgrim level and have a great time, because that way they're able to immerse themselves in the game world a lot more, and they don't have to worry about dying if they make a single mistake. Which, it's interesting now that we have the ability to cheat death. Wow, another sewing kit. Okay. And another potato. Another potato. Some Running River oats. Yeah, now that we have the ability to cheat death, that does change things somewhat. It makes me wonder if some of those friends will start playing on higher difficulty because they can afford to. Oh, hey, more matches. That is a blessing. Couple of carrots. And 3 more potatoes. Not bad. Now, actually, I do have a pry bar. I forgot I found one at the end of the last episode, so I think those locked trunks outside I can check. But I want to get moving before long, because especially since I have 2 flares now, that gives me the ability to quickly move between zones. And I would like to do that, especially while we also have the daylight on our side. It's quite cold. Let's head for the ridge. We're going to go to Coastal Highway. I do want to keep an eye out for the bear here. Also for wolves. Wolves are more likely on the left side of the road. Bear on the right. Looks like both are good at the moment. Unless they're just very, very conveniently hiding from me, which is also possible. Check the trunk. Nothing. Check the back seat. Nothing. Check the front seat. I might not be back here for a while. Well, let's be honest. I might not be back here at all. This is not exactly a long-term run. Misery mode, as I said in the first episode, is sort of the embodiment of Interloper's original promise to players, which is that it'll be the game literally trying to kill you. Of course, Interloper just had some of the scarcity and weather severity settings dialed up, and the loot tables dialed down. I'm being somewhat reductive there. There's more to Interloper than just that, but there's a lot more than that. But those are the main things that really set it apart. Also, the rate at which the various survival meters empty out and affect you. was also a factor. All right, there's a wolf over there. I'm going to try to avoid him. I imagine that one of the difficulty sliders that's been dialed all the way up is that the aggro radius for wildlife is also at its maximum, so I'll need to be quite careful and not assume that I can just dance around wolves the way that I normally do. You see a lot of players, especially veteran Long Dark players, using the torch and the throw mechanics with rocks to deal with wolves. I've always found it more enjoyable to try and solid snake my way around, if you will, solid snake my way around the wolves to the best of my ability and avoid their detection. Okay, this might not work. Nope. So I tend to just try to stay outside of their detection radius. And then if they charge me, I usually will do my best to avoid confronting them directly, unless I feel that I'm able to kill them. And that's just that's where I have the most fun. But there are many, many ways to deal with wolves as well. Alright, can't stay out in the cold too much longer. It's kind of surreal to see that label, Mining Road. With the addition of Tales from the Far Territory and this sort of ability to travel much farther into Great Bear than the starting zones, which are really close to the coast of Great Bear, kind of allow us. When you spend a lot of time in the zone of contamination, and even the Forsaken Airfield, there's just a lot more actual mining going on. Blackrock is another example, which is another newer map. Alright, almost there. And so seeing references to a mining area in the original game, even though they've been there for years, it's changed the context of those things in a really interesting way. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to restrain myself from meta commentary like that, because having played the Long Dark for so long, I did my first Long Dark video on the channel in 2015, did a couple of survival school series, the first one I think in 2016 or so, the second one in 2018. Need to do another one, but I would really like Tales to finish first before we do that. Those series, and just the amount of time I've been playing the Long Dark
doesn't seem so crazy right now.
in general, I mean, it just makes some of the newer stuff that much more interesting, because I really have to check my habits. Alright, this flare is not going to last forever. Alright, we're going to veer left first. And we'll grab a couple of pieces of coal as we move through here. The flare light will make it a little bit harder to tell. Oh, that's unfortunate. Sometimes a stem spawns on the ground here. Oh, nice. Fire log. I'll take it. But I really would have liked a stem. I think I did get one stem already, though, so I'm not completely without them. I'm pretty tired. So we need to make our way to a place with a bed as soon as possible, but that's not going to be that much of a challenge. I'm actually kind of surprised how tired I am. But again, all of the difficulty settings have been dialed up to the maximum. So energy consumption is going to be at the maximum. Calorie consumption is going to be at the maximum. Thirst is going to be lost quite quickly. So all of these things will continue to punish. And they will not wait in any way for me to find resources first. So let me go ahead. I know I only have so much time on this flare, so I don't want to waste it, but I don't want to worry about these meters when they've both turned red. Okay, we're going to veer here really quickly and check that backpack. And then this frozen corpse. Oh, nice. A decent hoodie, which is better than my plaid shirt. Okay, that's a slight improvement. I'm going to be careful how much coal I'm picking up, because coal is quite heavy, and I'm already at lower levels of movement speed due to the fact that I'm tired. We will have, I think, well-fed quite soon, as I said, so that'll pop in and make life a little bit easier. I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed moving through this cave because I know I have that backup flare. I would prefer not to have to use both flares, though. So I'm still going to make my way through here as fast as I can. The flare is probably going to be done by around the time I get to the other side. Okay, I'm really quite tired. That's annoying. I don't have a bedroll, so my ability to rest is entirely conducive and dependent. I just need to get to the frickin'... there's a construction hut not far from the other side of the cave exit, and that's where I'm going to be resting. I would like to pick up more coal, but it's just going to slow me down too much. Okay. Let's check back here. Is this body my... Ooh, storm lantern. Hey! How about that? I do have some lantern fuel, so that's handy. Well, now we're slightly better off than we were a moment ago. That is a welcome change. Another sewing kit. Wow. I think misery mode is trolling me, everybody. Because I don't in any way expect to have that much luck with virtually any other important item. Okay, starting to get really tired. If there's a predator outside, which is not likely, but it's possible, then that is not going to be good. Man, I'm passing up so many pieces of coal, and it's upsetting, but at least I know they're here. So in a situation where I need coal and I'm in the area, what I can do is dip back into this cave. I see some new shoes. Perfect. Another stem. Okay, so there's the stem. Or at least a stem. Trail boots, which should be an improvement over the other ones. Nice. Nothing on the ground. Nothing on the shelves. And as expected, this flare is done. Perfectly timed. How's the weather?
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Yeah, I do too. Unfortunately, we have to wait till we drop it. Thankfully, shelter is not far. So if you do happen to be newer to the Long Dark, whether you're brand new or you've only been playing for a few months, I know there are a few of my community members who are newer to the game and who have been enjoying watching me play just on account of just having been through these zones a few times. Another thing that I would recommend is enjoy the game as much as you can. I'm not saying watching content creators is bad. I'm not saying that watching streamers suffer and push against the upper limits of the difficulty of the game is something you shouldn't do, but this is a game, I've said this countless times over the years, it's something my subscribers are very, very accustomed to hearing, but it's... Thank you, Jennifer, I'm talking. This is a game that's really, really exciting when you have no idea where you're going. When you have no map knowledge. When every single corner, you know, kind of leads you around to a spot that, like, you have no idea what to do. You have no idea where to go next or whether or not there's going to be shelter. There's really something to be said for that level of uncertainty. Once you have map knowledge, it does enable you to play like I'm playing now, which is to go from point to point and say, I know how I'm going to survive this mode. You can't really survive Interloper and Misery mode without map knowledge, unless you're very lucky. But that's another thing that I would say if you're newer to the games, be careful, at least if you're going to watch content creators, try to steer your attention away from, like, where they're going, and maybe learn more from, like, gameplay decisions and how they manage the mechanics and stuff like that. That way you can still enjoy exploring the world as much as possible. Okay, so before I go to sleep here, let me have a look around. We do have some things to drop or harvest. Okay, we're good. So, a couple of things. Let's have a couple of cans of spray paint. Let's drop one of those. That's not necessary. Now, what? I do need to eat, but before I do that, let's first harvest some of the excess clothing that I'm carrying. I will need to be careful with the shoes, because the shoes will take a while to harvest. They'll take an hour and 15 minutes, and I probably don't have... I just don't want to tempt fate too much here. So what I'm going to do is eat a carrot. If I had a cattail, I'd eat that, but we don't have any at the moment. We will have more soon, hopefully. All right, let's go ahead and refuel the lantern. It had some fuel in it, but with the fuel that I had, now it's almost full. That's quite nice. I do have some reading I can do as well. Okay. Let's now go ahead and harvest these old shoes. And then I can rest.
I've never been so hungry in my life.
Okay. Now, the nice thing about this, I do need to cook soon, because if I can find a spot to cook, then I can actually do something with a lot of this stuff that I'm carrying. Right now, I really can't. So we're going to consume this dog food. Honestly, I'm just going to plow through most of this. I hate it because we're going to lose a fair amount of food since we still don't have a can opener. Definitely don't have any other tools because we have to make them. If you didn't know, on Interloper and Misery difficulty, anytime you have the loot table set to the lowest possible setting, it's one of the first settings when you do a custom game. When you set it to low, which is what Interloper and Misery use, tools don't spawn. I have long advocated and still advocate for that to be separated out as a setting to where we could have the low loot tables but still have like the knife and the hatchet spawn in the world. Maybe just make them more rare. I think that would be great. I would play all day, every day on that particular setting, but that's just me. Okay, we need to be careful here because this is going to be most of my caloric load. I'm going to go for, with that in mind, I'm going to go for 10 hours of sleep. Wait, do I have anything left to eat at all? Yeah, I've got a carrot and tomato soup. You know what? I'm going to go for the full amount. I'm going to do it. Hang on. Well, the only thing to keep in mind is that with thirst being what it is, I don't want to wake up thirsty. So maybe I will do 10 hours just to check that, because we're at a setting where the thirst meter goes down faster than I'm used to, and I want to just double check just how big of a problem that yup. I would have just lost so much life. But we're actually okay at the moment. We still don't have well fed, but we should maybe by the end of this episode would be my guess. So, all right, now let's eat the carrot. It is unfortunately nighttime now. I'm going to go ahead and eat this too, and then we'll drop. Man, we're still so encumbered. It's probably the coal, being completely honest. Also, partly the water. Yeah, I've also picked up a number of replacement fuses. Do I really need these? I'm going to deprioritize lugging those around right now. The heavy hammer is also taking up a decent amount of weight. You would think this would be a lot of weight at 25 gallons, but we don't actually have 25 gallons. That's just a bad conversion. So we've got 1.65 pounds of cooking oil. All right, I do actually have 2 antiseptics. Maybe I didn't see the first one in my inventory earlier in the episode. All right, that makes things somewhat easier, but okay. I think I would like to keep, I'm going to drop that book because I don't need it. Got a fair amount of matches. Okay, we're good. Still got some time here, but since the weather sounds reasonable, I'm going to go outside and see how it looks. Wait a second. Lead trailer, there we go. As I feel my way around in the dark.
Sure I can carry much more.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get the lantern out so that you can see. I mean, yeah, so that I can see too, but mainly so you can see. YouTube loves to destroy nighttime views in the long dark with its compression algorithm. Love that. But it is what it is. Well, you know what? I'm going the wrong way. If I really want to do this effectively, I think I want to go this way instead. I was on autopilot there. I think it would be better to take another route down. And I'll show you why. And this is honestly, as long as I've played this game... Oh, nice. Weather's actually clearing. I'm going to put the lantern away. Because visibility will still be somewhat limited, but it's better. And I'd rather not burn that fuel. Okay, so when you come down this way... Yeah, as much as I have played this game, as many series as I've done over the years, this is something that I've more recently kind of encoded into my gameplay knowledge. It's really nice. So this is the route down from the area where you first come into the zone if you're coming from Mystery Lake. So this is a route that a lot of us are more familiar with. So you can see the sun is already starting to rise a little bit. But yeah, this is a route that we're already familiar with because this was the way that we all first came into Coastal Highway. When Coastal Highway was first added as a zone. So now, okay, I want to be very careful. Alright, we're good. Every now and then the wolves in this area can be right here next to this pair of huts. But we're mostly okay. I'm of course losing a bit of condition due to the cold. I don't want to tempt fate with that. Okay. Let's step inside.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Hopefully there will be a bit of food here. That would be ideal. Otherwise I might have to start a fire somewhere nearby and just cook some. Because I definitely have food that I can cook. Unfortunately, oh nice. That is all I needed. Summit soda, another flare, even nicer. Yes, I did check that. Okay, nothing there. Okay, so... it's not great. But as a pit stop, I'll take the 250 calories. It'll help keep thirst topped off. And I think what I want to do, with visibility being this good, I'm going to head straight back to the road this way. We are going to lose...
If I don't warm up soon.
Yeah, we're going to lose some health here, taking this particular trip. I'm also running a lot, so that's wearing Jennifer out quickly here. Might as well offer a quick clarification for those of you new to the channel. I will refer to the voice actors in the Long Dark. You know what? Let's poke our heads in here real quick. I will refer to them very affectionately as Mark and Jennifer, because it's Mark Meer and Jennifer Hale. The reason that I do that is that
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Mark and Jennifer were the voice actors for the male and female Commander Shepard back in the day in the Mass Effect trilogy, which is one of my all-time favorites. So ever since I started playing The Long Dark, yes, they have names, Will Mackenzie and Astrid Greenwood, and you'll find many creators calling them Will and Astrid, even in survival mode, when technically you're not playing as Will and Astrid, you're playing as a generic male or female survivor. But I usually will just call them Mark or Jennifer. Nice. Okay, there's a bit more food. And a bit more coal, but I'm not going to worry about the coal because, again, it's going to slow me down more than I would like. Alright, let's get that backpack. I don't want to use more lantern fuel here than is necessary. If we had an Aurora right now, we could go down into this elevator, which I almost hesitate to go all the way back to it because I don't think there's much loot back here, but I want to double check just to be certain. Okay, yeah, I was right. So yeah, if there was an Aurora right now, then the elevator would be turned on, which is pretty cool.
Not sure I can carry much more.
That's because you can't. All right, let's see if we can make it to the Quonset here. Visibility is pretty good. If we can make it to the Quonset, we will be in a spot with just better food in general. Or at least a higher likelihood. All right, already checked all those. Just triple checking, because scarcity is at an all-time high here. Right, let's put this away. And now we're going to try and beeline to the Quonset. Visibility being this good. Oh god. We'll make spotting the wolves very easy. Look, there's 5 of them. Great. Great. Love this. Love everything about it. That's actually kind of good. If I can avoid being detected by one of them right now as I make my way by, I'm going to use the road to my advantage here.
Wait.
Then I might have a pretty easy time getting into the Quonset if they're centralized on the lake right now. But one of them might be coming toward me, like straight toward me right now. Oh yeah, there's one quite close with its back turned, but nevertheless. I'm going to try to stay on the far side of its detection range. Oh boy. That's a whole pack. Okay.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
But yeah, the nice thing about that is that that makes it fairly likely that there will not be any wolves. You know what? I just realized. If all of the difficulty settings are turned up to their maximum in misery, is this like Interloper but with Stalker level loot wolf populations? Oh, I think it is. Oh, that's terrifying. Because this is... Okay, yeah. Again, one of the really interesting things about this is that you can't... I showed this in episode 1. You can't actually check. Unfortunately. You can't see in the custom difficulty settings the same way you can with every other difficulty setting in the game. You can't see what the sliders are actually set to for misery. But if we take it at face value and we just believe that it is what it's supposed to be, what that means... Okay, lots of wolves. What that means is that we have the maximum number of wolves here with us in Coastal Highway, and everywhere else for that matter. Okay, so... See? And I see a wolf right in front of us. In the middle of the road there. Oh boy, okay. I'm going to be very careful here, because I am quite tired. A wolf getting a hold of me right now while I have nothing to defend myself with would not go well. Let's pick up a few sticks while I'm on the way in. But there's our destination, straight ahead. Don't hear any bear crows, so the bear probably is not too close. Yep, we're good. I'm gonna kind of veer... Oh, that's a moose. Cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna risk pissing that thing off. Moosin'! As the old meme goes. Okay. Yes, I know. I know. I'm leaving you alone. Okay, we're going to step into the back of the Quonset, and I'm going to stop this episode here with that save point. In the next one, we are going to do our very best to not only check the environment to see what might be available here loot-wise. There is a lot to be explored, so hopefully we'll find some food. Hopefully we'll find some additional water, maybe even some clothing, if we're lucky. Already doing pretty well from a clothing standpoint, but we could do better. And then it's a matter of just continuing to head towards Desolation Point, because once we get there, there's continued need for a bedroll, which there might be one there. There could be one here as well. And more importantly, though, we can make tools in Desolation Point if we're there at the forge. So we'll have to pick up a few more pieces of coal on the way. We'll have well fed by then, which is nice too. But yeah, lots to do in the next one and beyond before some more of these negative afflictions. I was about to say affixes. Been playing way too much Diablo 4. Before any more of these kick in. So we have some more kind of random nonsense coming our way. And I really don't know what to expect because it is completely randomized. I have seen a few of the others so far myself in playtesting, but which one's coming next? Who's to say? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. For early episodes, channel emotes, and member badges, look for the join button. New episodes drop at 1 p.m. US Eastern Time every day but Wednesday, and comments are always welcome, so leave your thoughts below. And I'll see you next time.